people say he's done something that goes beyond the pale, he will shake his head and give this answer without fail. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, he says he tells no lies and that he never jokes. Confronting with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax. A modern Don Quixote, he hates the windmills, claiming to protect the birds and whales he says they kill. But don't believe that story, it's really just a shill. He just did not want to see them wild golfing on Scottish hills. A hoax, he said it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, changing a storm path with black marker strokes. Confronting with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax. Casting mail-in ballots is something that he's done. Now he wants to ban them for each and every one. He claims it's for integrity in each election, but he won't believe the results unless it's him that's won. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, they'll fool you with distractions like real sugar in Cokes. Confronting with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax. He promised to release all the Epstein files that caused all the MAGA base to react with smiles. But how long has he put it off? It sure has been a while, and now he's calling this a hoax, protecting pedophiles. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, he'll keep on gaslighting up until he crooks. Confronted with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax.
Obama and Bush's pictures got hidden, obscuring the past, history rewritten. Hung in a hallway where no tour can see, confirming his amending fragility. If Trump can't see it, you must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. Object permanent, a milestone missed. If Trump can't see it, he must not exist. Stop the testing was the line that he said. Hundreds of thousands needlessly dead. Now HHS is run by brainworm quack, hiding the truth behind his back. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. An administration run by narcissists. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. Boxes of documents stacked floor to the wall. Top secret folders in a bathroom stall. Charges were pressed but the case was dropped. A corrupt judicial system he can co-opt. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. He'll swear it's fake news, a liberal twist. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. Encampments downtown, tents lining the street. Invisible people that power won't need. Hide them away so the cameras can't find it. Proof of a system that's cold and unkind. Of chaotic secret and NDA sign. An illegal bribe, Michael Cohen fine. Trump got fined too over his gag order, but she didn't gag cause he was much shorter. If you can't see it, it must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. We can't let him win, we must resist. If Trump can't see smile exists.
Trump piled debt, trillions tall. Promised Mexico would fund that wall. Praised dictators, said they're strong. Had Joe done it, they'd say he's wrong. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they'd scream foul play. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Goes through crises, storms, and more. Called soldiers losers who died in war. Hired his kids to run D.C. If it was Hunter, they'd scream treachery. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, the numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, Fox News would say I made. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Love Kim Jong-un, he wrote love letters that take the guns first, lose those rights forever. Signed you spending bills with glee. Had Joe done that, it'd be tyranny. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they child up today. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Kept secret files, countless untold. Said Putin's word was good as gold. Invited the Taliban to come to U.S. soil. If Joe had done that, they'd all recoil. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, the numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they'd want him to pay. But Trump did, so it must be okay. Double standards loud and clear. Rules for Trump, but not for peers. What they call treason if Joe's the name is patriotism when Donald's to blame. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they'd shout no way. But Trump did it, so it must be okay.
Yeah, one of your rockins in the bird, bitch. Yeah. Yeah, what?
Twas the night before Christmas when all through the land Fox News warned its viewers of a dastardly plan. The liberals were launching their war on the season to get rid of Christmas and commit acts of treason, removing decorations out of their sight and telling you that Santa and Jesus ain't white. Environmentalists who will come right after your soul. They hate all things Christmas, especially the coal. They'll sneak in your house all dressed in their flannel and instead give the bad kids some new solar panels. They'll take up all decorations that please us. They'll even go after tiny baby Jesus. Now all these Fox lies cause such a frustration. Who would save us all from this misinformation? When live from the net there came lots of chatter. Could it be old St. Nick or perhaps someone fatter? Broadcasting from New Orleans down in Louisiana, it was none other than Liberal Dan, coming to save the holiday season, busting through their lies with facts, logic, and reason. But I cannot do it myself, he exclaimed, so he called other groups, each one by name, on Christians, on Muslims, on Wiccans, on Jews, on Hindus and Buddhists and atheists too. Let's all spread the word and tell them indeed that there's no war on Christmas, just one on greed. So instead of joining this manufactured fight, listen to Liberal Dan Radio. Talk from the left, that's right.
This just in. A sudden spike in logic levels across the city. Citizens report seeing a man with glasses and a podcast mic. We go now, live to Liberal Dan. Yo, who you gonna call when Nazi writings on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, cause you know we got a plan. The right wing talking shit, but he ain't about to quit. He'll take his proton pack and zap your logic cause it's whack. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall.
It's being reported that Liberal Dan is setting up what appears to be some sort of straw man containment field.
He's calling out your lies with his mic he'll vaporize. Cross the streams in your dreams, bitch, you know that he's too wise. You're like Slimer talking crap, but you walked into his trap. Yo, it's more than entertainment, it's misinformation contained. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall. The Statue Liberty, the writing you can't see. So bring the huddled masses, it's a war of the classes. While Trump may think he's Vigo, Dan can cut through that ego. He's got the facts to prove him wrong, got that logic like Egon. Your logic is a ghost, cause you know this chick is toast. When you follow MTG, it's conspiracy, you'll see. There's no need to taser, he's got wit like Occam's razor. Liberal Dan cuts those lies with his Jewish-based laser.
It's unbelievable. Liberal Dan just used the literal dog whistle to lure a large group of internet trolls into what is being called a self-collapsing rhetoric singularity. In all my years of reporting, I've never seen anything like this.
So don't call to be a heckler, you ain't no Judge Rexler. He'll bust you like Scolary, cause your logic's looking hairy. Right-wing callers think they're cool, but they sounding just like Zool. You the dog, he the man, and yo, his name is Liberal Dan. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall. Liberal Dan, Liberal Dan, Liberal Dan.
Self-proclaimed king, a groper in chief, stealing our country, a crooked orange thief. Faux patriots who are poorly educated, wearing red hats and also unvaccinated. Liberal Dan will see us through. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. A failing media that's barely treading water. They're too inept to fight this new world order. Corporate pigs are at the trough, hear the squeals. The swine won't bite the hands that feeds them meals. But Liberal Dan will see us flow. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. A leftist voice on air, exposing MAGA treason, breaking through their lies with facts, logic, and reason. Unmasking hypocrisy, the truth will be our guide. Call out their lies, justice is on our side. Cause Liberal Dan will see us through. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right.
And welcome back to Liberal Dan Radio, Talk from the Left, that's right. This is your host, Dan Zimmerman, coming at you live from New Orleans, Louisiana. We will open up the phone lines in a little bit. If you want to call in, it'll be 562-LIBDAN1, 562-LIBDAN1, but hold off on the calls so far. Also, you can leave questions, comments, etc., and I'll try to get to as many as possible over either on twitch.liberaldanradio.com or just liberaldanradio.com, the Twitch and YouTube radio, the YouTube links specifically. That's... Who knows how good this show is going to be today. I've already had several bumbles, as it were, stumbles or whatever. But shouts out to 250 Kilo Ohm and Aaron over on the Twitch stream right now. Over on YouTube, we've got both members of the mod squad, Aaron and Jolie, the two best mods on the planet. We got Jeff from just north of Uranus, TV2 Lives. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Wow, it's Fancy. We got Fancy, and we got Steve from across the pond.
It's not Scottish, it's crap.
Who else we got as we've been scrolling up to go see? We got Bill. I think I remember seeing Bill in the chat. Good to see you, Bill, as well. Let's see. Anybody else currently that I have yet to say hello to? We got 15 in the chat. So 15 at least live viewers watching. And also 11 likes. So at least 4 people have not done their job and smashed that like button before smashing the patriarchy as well. Make sure to like, share, etc. Let everybody know. Invite everybody else to come in and join the party. 250 Kilo Ohm asks, I passed through the NOLA airport years ago. They had a banner where we disembarked, said NOLA, #1 in liver transplants. Wonder if that's just humor or boasting. Well, I mean, if we're sending the livers out, that's boasting. Because if we can drink as much as we do down here in New Orleans and still manage to be able to donate our livers, those are some good livers, y'all. That being said, it's probably boasting the other way is like, hey, we're gonna, we drink a lot and we have a lot of liver transplants. Although it's very well possible that it might have been a little combination of both. But one of that reminded me of another set of billboards I used to see. Back before Hurricane Katrina, I worked at what's referred to as Baptist Hospital as part of the, what was the group. It was Tenet Healthcare. It used ran like Baptist and Mercy and a couple other things or whatever, and they stopped running those. Then other hospital systems picked them up after Katrina, redid the hospital. So on the 7th floor of this hospital, what was called Life Care. It was basically inpatient hospice care, but in a hospital instead of like in a hospice. So it was basically hospice care. And some of the things that went on in that place was just completely baffling. Like, why would you have all of these people who are non-ambulatory up 7 floors up? You'd think you'd want those people down low in order to be able to, get them out in case of an emergency. So every once in a while, we'd have fire drills, as you're supposed to do. So when you'd have a fire drill, everybody typically needs to get up, get out of their room, get out of their bed, go walk downstairs because you can't use the elevators. But there's no sort of ramp that kind of spirals down that would enable you to be able to get down from the 7th floor if there was an actual emergency. But when it was just a test of the fire drill system, all they would do is they would end up just shutting everybody's doors. Right? They would shut everybody's doors. And then as these people were hearing the alarms going off and their doors being shut, all of their heart monitors started racing because these people are probably sitting there thinking, why are they shutting the door and shutting me in when there's an alarm going off? So, and the billboards for this place used to say, come to Life Care, where the stays are an average of 5 days fewer. I'm like, is that something you really want to brag about? I mean, if people are going to Life Care, the people who are leaving Life Care are probably leaving Life Care on a gurney, not because they've become better. So I don't know if I would brag about the fact that my patients are dying 5 days sooner than all the other hospice places, unless that's your selling point. You're like, look, you don't have to deal with grandma or grandpa anymore. If you want to deal with them with fewer days to go, bring them to us. We'll make sure they die quickly. It sounds like they're more than ready for the Republican health care plan, right? Anyway, so See, I love country fried chicken liver and sauteed beef liver in a red wine. I really only have chopped liver. I really only ever liked chopped liver when it comes to liver, I guess, or pate or whatever. I haven't actually had like fried livers, and I just can't bring myself to do it. I don't know, something about it being in its original consistency just doesn't, I just can't bring myself to eating it. Although my dad loves them. I know my dad loves them, and I know there is at least one Popeyes in the area. I think it's in Kenner, Louisiana, where a lot of the ice raids are going on, or have been going on. And they still sell the fried chicken livers there, and people love them. I'm sure. More power to you. The less livers I eat, the more y'all can have, right? So, hey Jackie, it's good to see you. Another member of the J Squad. Yes, Steve, I do have a Die Hard shirt on because Die Hard is the best Christmas movie ever. Let me play this one too, I guess. I can play another one. I was trying to get this song. Oh, it's not that one. It's the other one. It's the other link. I was trying to do a song about not about Christmas, but a song about a movie or TV character on the Marika site that I've used to create songs for. Like I've created the pretty much almost every of the songs that I've created. Not the one Deminox. Deminox did his on Suno, but or whatever it's called. Yeah, Suno. But I wanted to make a movie, or not a movie. I might make a song about the main character of Die Hard. And again, because Die Hard's and this basically, the song is called John McClane Christmas Hero. And I was trying to submit it to this contest, but I was trying to follow the directions on how to submit it, and those buttons were not available on the site. So I don't know if I'm actually entered to this contest or not. So if I'm entered to the contest, cool, yay, whatever. But if I'm not entered to the contest, well, the only way to hear the song about John McClane Christmas Hero is to be listening to Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. So I guess since we're doing lots of music to start this show off, let's go ahead and do this one as well. Especially because we brought up the Die Hard shirt and because I'm wearing the Die Hard shirt.
Christmas Eve, McClane arrives, trying to save his marriage, not all these lives. My Hans pops in with that Euro dealing flex, talking real smooth like he's cashing checks. Party is lit, tree is bright, then hostages screaming on a warm winter night. John sighs, takes off his shoes. Guess I gotta make some Christmas news.
It ain't Christmas yet, don't make a sound, not till Hans Gruber hits the ground. Christmas in Hollis, no, he's in LA, it's a Christmas movie, yippee-ki-yay.
Debated every damn year, is it a Christmas movie? Blow open your ears, there's a tree, there's holly, there's Christmas jams. If that ain't festive, then what is, fam? Guns are popping, bodies dropping, Hans starts falling and Christmas starts hopping. The slow-mo fall, that holiday sound when the Santa clock in, when Hans hits the ground.
It ain't Christmas yet, don't make the sound, not till Hans Gruber hits the ground. He wants a miracle, don't you cry, because here comes the FBI.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the tower, John McClane's plotting to take all Hans' power, stopping those villains just like a pro. Now he's got a machine gun, a drum ho-ho! Blood on his shirt, glass in his feet. He'll gift wrap violence with no receipt. It ain't gonna be a silent night, 'cause Officer McClane has entered the fight. So leave out a cookie for my homie Saint Nick, and watch the Nakatomi Christmas flick.
It ain't Christmas yet, don't make a sound, not till Hans Gruber hits the ground. Argue all you want, you look like a clown. Who's the king of Christmas movies? John McClane wears the crown.
And there you go, another Liberal Dan Radio original there about John McClane being a Christmas hero and being a Christmas movie. And Jolie, what? You have not seen Die Hard? What? How can you not have seen? I challenge you. You must. I would say you must watch Die Hard this Christmas. Problem is that it's driven me crazy that there are a lot of years where you can't find Die Hard on the TV on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. So I basically, a few years back, I went ahead and just bought the digital copy on Amazon so I'd be able to watch it from wherever I am, just in case I'm stuck in some Christmas party and need a good movie to watch for all ye old festive ways or whatever. But usually every Christmas time I will take a picture of Hans Gruber as he's falling off the tower and be like, God bless us, everyone. Hey, Suzanne. Hey, Christine. Good to see you both. Hey, Big Hook. Good to see you as well. I don't know if I've missed anybody else in there. But yeah, so who knows? Maybe it will have been submitted for the contest. I don't know. But, if it's not, and I just ended up doing it for fun, well...
It is what it is.
Thank you, Donald. Hey, Josh. Good to see you. Die Hard sounds like a henna boner. Or maybe the people get excited as they're putting on tattoos. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Category on Jeopardy today was about Christmas movies. I knew Die Hard would be one. It was. Well, it has to be. Was it the lowest answered one, or was it like the highest value one? Because, whether or not it was an easy one because it takes place during Christmas, or a hard one because there's a debate. What I'm more interested in, what was the clue? Because what was the clue about Die Hard on Jeopardy that would make people have to think about it 2 seconds? Let's see, Big Hook. There's 4 or 5 of them, if I remember correctly, till Willis had come to bench. I think there might have been 6. Maybe there's 5. Maybe it's 5. I mean, there's Die Hard. There's Die Hard 2. Basically, Die Hard in Airport. There's Live Free or Die Hard. Wait, hold on. Die Hard, Die Hard 2, Live Free, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Live Free or Die Hard. Then I think there was another one. So maybe it was 5, but yeah. And now Bruce Willis is, unfortunately. So 800. So it was the 4th one out of 5, if I'm remembering my Jeopardy correctly. Well, it wasn't free on Amazon Prime back when I originally got it. So I had to get it at that point. So I now own it regardless of whether or not I have Prime or not. So anyway. Yeah, I got to Die Hard with a Vengeance. That's the problem with the delay, I guess, right? Let's see. We just watched Die Hard again. Probably watch it at least one more time this season. Absolutely. Way to go. We need to all watch Die Hard extra to make up for Jolie's lack of watching Die Hard. I did watch it the other day as well. It was I don't know why it was on TV the other day, or what they just picked it the other day to play it. Maybe it was sometime after Thanksgiving. I don't know, but I was like, all right, I'll just play this while I'm going to sleep, and I stayed up through the entire thing. So, anyway, what we gonna talk about now? We do have one of the things that Donald Trump has been doing is he started his affordability speaking tour or rally tour or whatever, but right before then he was calling the affordability thing a new word, which affordability is not a new word, although I guess to Donald Trump affordability may very well be a new word because he never had to worry about affordability a day in his life. But because of his ridiculousness and his hypocrisy, we have a new Hypocrite of the Week. Guess who it is? This week's Hypocrite of the Week is Donald Trump. Orange Foolie has called the strategy of Democrats pointing out the affordability crisis a hoax. He then started a rally tour where he's going to talk about what? Affordability. We shouldn't be surprised. Criticizing others for doing what he does? That's his playbook all day long and twice on Sunday. To see who next week's Hypocrite of the Week will be, tune in live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at liberaldenradio.com or twitch.liberaldenradio.com for more talk from the left. That's right. So there you go. Donald Trump is the Hypocrite of the Week. Now, I get it. I understand. He is somebody who has claimed to at least be a billionaire, clearly a multi-millionaire, and he probably is truly a billionaire at this point because of all the grifting he's been done, especially in the second presidency. And, well, you know, he's never going to understand what it means to have to, you know, give up on something, have to make a hard decision, go without something you want to do because of the things that you have to pay for. Or even circumstances where you have to choose which necessity you're going to use and which necessity you're going to have to do without. There was literally a year where Cassie and I went without health insurance. The kids got on it through the exchange because they were on the CHIP or whatever, which is the children's health insurance plan. But there was a year where we were basically like, you know what? We're going to have to risk it because we can't afford it this year. Fortunately, nothing happened. But again, we had to choose, do we get health insurance or do we pay for the other things that need to be, you know, paid for? Fortunately, now we don't have to worry about that. But still, Donald Trump has never had to make such decisions in his life. I would love for him to one day to be able to have to try and make those decisions, but by that, I'm sure he's not going to last that long. He probably doesn't have enough time left in his life to spend enough money to put himself in a situation, even if you have like stock market crashes or whatever. So, yeah. You know. And then, of course, you're just going to have somebody else who comes into power who's, you know, and at least, I mean, there are rich people in Congress. Don't get me wrong. There are people who are rich or wealthy in Congress who either at least has some inkling of what, you know, it might be like to have to make those tough decisions, or at least can empathize with the people who can. But empathy is not something that Donald Trump or any MAGA type really believes in, especially because, you know, what was it, Charlie Kirk that said empathy was harmful? It's not a good thing to have empathy. So you see why many of us don't, you know, empathize for the loss that other people have when he passed away, because he told us that empathy is harmful. So why should we have empathy for supporters when he told his supporters empathy was harmful, right? Anyway, so there's that. But I do have something that I've been thinking about for a while, or at least a little bit, which is I was wondering about, you know, Donald Trump, or maybe it was Pete Hegseth, I don't know, whoever the one is ultimately responsible. I mean, ultimately Donald Trump's, you know, the buck should stop there, but that's not how he presidents, if that's a word, right? So that's not how he works as president of these United States. He doesn't say the buck stops here. He will throw anybody under the bus if it saves his political hide. That being said, you know, all of these attacks that are going against these so-called narco-terrorist drug boats, is the problem that Donald Trump played Battleship or some form of Battleship before it actually came out as Battleship as a young kid or maybe as a young adult, and he was playing the game and he never could win. Maybe he just never could win Battleship. Everyone would always beat his ass because he's a dumbass and doesn't understand how to play once you get a hit. So he's just going to throw bombs into the ocean trying to sink other people's ships because everybody was spending all this time trying to sink his battleship. And now he's not just going after the little narco-terrorist boats. Now he's gotten a seized oil tanker that was coming out of Venezuela as well, and he's bragging about it. Not only is he bragging about it, but of course he has to make it about size because the dude is overcompensating a lot, according to Stormy and my song. It's the biggest boat that's ever been seized. Nobody has seized a bigger boat. It's historical. Nobody has ever seen anybody seize a boat just like this. He probably had to be told there's a difference between that we seize a boat, you know, or a ship or whatever, and we seize. Like, oh, I seized the ship over there, and oh, I seized the ship over there. He probably doesn't even understand that there's a difference between those two words as well. So, I mean, he is a damn dumbass. So, anyway. Hey, Doug, good to see you. Thank you for joining. If it's first time here, make sure to smash that like, smash the subscribe button. we do welcome everybody here as long as you're, you know, kind, polite, you know, willing to have a civil conversation. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle in. We will open up the phone lines a little bit. We ask that, you know, conservatives, liberals, moderates, centrists, leftists, righties, whatever, call in, share your thoughts. You want to debate me, that's cool. Just, you know, don't be a douchebag about it, and you're more than welcome to be here, right? So, hey, Trisha, go over on Twitch. Thank you for joining over there. Appreciate you. Remember the ways to support the show. You got Venmo. You can Liberal Dan Venmo. Venmo Liberal Dan. Again, this may be a shorter than normal show, too, because even though I did get a little more sleep last night, it's... Anyway, you can buy me a cider. You can buy me coffee.com/LiberalDanRadio, or you can go to liberaldan.com, click the Buy Me a Cider button. That'll get you there as well. You can join the Liberal Dan Radio Patreon, patreon.com/LiberalDan or patreon.liberaldan.com. Both ways get you there as well. But the most important you can buy memberships, gift memberships, super stickers, super chats over here on YouTube. You can gift subscriptions, buy your own subscription. If you have Amazon Prime, you can get a subscription for free on Twitch once a month. One creator once a month. You got to redo it every month if you want to do it. But the most important thing to do is just to help the algorithm, comment on videos, like videos, share them, you know, and subscribe, and get your other friends to subscribe as well, because we're trying to get this rocket going off into the cosmos, and I need y'all's help to do it. Hey Mike, good to see you. Thank you for joining. Hey Roxanne, you're getting a deep South accent. Stop it. I could even go even worse if you want me to, because sometimes I listen to the people that call into Jeff Career's show, and I like to imitate them as well. Although the one person I'm doing now who calls into Jeff's show, I don't necessarily think he's from the South. I think he's more from up north in Indiana. But that person was actually pretty nice to me the other day. He actually was sharing the love that he has for people, and he's like, I even love Liberal Dan. I'm like, well, look at that. That was actually the same day that I called in. I called in Tuesday. It was yesterday. I called in the morning on my way to physical therapy, and normally he takes a while to get to me, but yesterday I was just like, look, I called the screener, I have to be off the phone by, you know, 8:20, and so they got to me quickly. They got to me first. I guess that's the card I need to use if I want to get on the air. But shockingly enough, they got to me, and then I told them all about what we were talking about on Monday, how Louisiana changed the laws on how people can register to become a candidate, how you can qualify to be a candidate, i.e., if you're a Democrat or Republican, you can pay to be on the ballot, but non-Democrats, non-Republicans can't pay. They can only get signatures, and if you want a signature as a non-Democrat, non-Republican candidate, you cannot get Democrats and Republicans to sign those signatures, because the Republican Party here in Louisiana has basically disenfranchised every single voter in the state and has usurped their power, has taken it away from them, and it's a bunch of BS that they've done that. So, but Jeff and his guest, the one, I don't know if you remember, I played an audio from them the other day or the week or whatever, where she was talking about how fighting racism is political. She didn't like the fact that the NFL had end racism in the end zones, because she didn't want to see politics. I'm like, fighting racism shouldn't be political. It should be something that everybody agrees with. But apparently they don't, because that's what MAGA is rooted in: bigotry, hatred, etc. But shockingly enough, both Michelle and Jeff on Tuesday's morning show agreed with what I said, agreed that it was wrong that the Republican Party in Louisiana did that, believed, and he's like, I would sign any petition of anybody running for office if I could. And I was like, well, if I do it, you can't sign mine if I run as a no party. It's as simple as that. So it's a damn shame, but, you know, as old Donald Trump says,
It is what it is.
But, you know, we're going to continue to talk about that issue probably for a long time, at least the next month or so, here or there with updates. But it's the fact that a diehard conservative, not diehard like the shirt, but a diehard conservative like Jeff Career can sit there and openly say that the Louisiana Republican Party has absolutely usurped the power from the voters and screwed over the voters in the state, I was amazed. I was shocked. I mean, I know sometimes he bucks the trends, but for both of them actually to be like, that's wrong. It's wrong of them to do that. Well, they snuck one by a whole bunch of people, and now it's the law. So, but yeah, more hypocrisy, of course, though, because Caroline Leavitt, old Caroline Leavitt, you know, they talk about, you know, how administrations are corrupt, actions are being taken by, you know, these people to, you know, benefit themselves. And Caroline Leavitt's, the mother of her nephew, was detained by ICE. And magically, that person got released from custody. So again, it's not about legality. It's about who you know or who you don't know. And it's about bigotry otherwise. Because they don't give a shit about legality. And I will challenge any conservative to debate me on that one, because they do not care about legality. They only care about their bigotry, their xenophobia, their racism. Them wanting to deport every person who is of Somali heritage, how is that not racism? And somebody even challenged, I think maybe on my TikTok videos, oh, he said he's banning people from Somalia, or he wants to deport the Somalians. It doesn't mean he's a racist. I'm like, telling people to go back to Africa is literally a racist thing to say. Like, how do you not understand this? But again, as I've said since 2016, Donald Trump has emboldened racists. He's emboldened bigots. He has made it so that they are comfortable. He's made it so that a Cinnabon worker, I think I said it wrong. I think it was in Wisconsin and not Minnesota. I think I said Minnesota last time, and it's Wisconsin. But this Crystal person, this Give, Send, Go, the description on this thing: meet Crystal, a hard-working white mom doing her job at Cinnabon. Two Somali customers decide to make her shift hell with intimidation. Instead of banning the offenders and backing their employee, Cinnabon fires Crystal to keep the nons happy. Whatever the non, I guess the non-whites, is that what they have, the racists? Is that how Nazis refer to as non-whites, is just the nons, to make it, you know, acceptable and passing the censors or whatever? We're not letting this slide. Funds go to making sure Crystal lands on her feet after this betrayal. No white person should lose their job for refusing to be harassed by Somalians. Look, nobody should be harassed by anybody when they're on the job. That's as simple as that. I don't care what the situation is. And if the people who happen to be of Somali heritage, if those people happened to, I would have no problem with if they cross the line. Absolutely, ban them from the mall. Do whatever you need to do, but don't come to the defense of somebody who so easily drops the N-bomb. I mean, if you so easily are able, if you get so angry that you can't control your filter and have to say that the N-word and also admit that you're racist, because you did that too, guess what? You're a racist. And if you contribute to this, you're also a racist. Unfortunately, there are a lot of racists donating to this GoFundMe, or not, I'm sorry, Give, Send, Go, because she has now had somebody, this guy, Tom Hennessy is the guy's name, who created this GoFundMe. He has raised for her $146,800 because she dropped the M-bomb and got fired because of that as a consequence of her actions. Look, I did a GoFundMe for my wife's health issues, my health issues, for the bitch of a year that we've had. And I appreciate every single contribution that every one of y'all had. But apparently the secret to making money with a GoFundMe is to not actually need the money. It's to be a shitbag human, and then people will surround you and support you. Because that's the challenge, right? Figure out how I can piss off enough people to make it so that other people are like, let's support Dan. But I'm not going to do it in such a way that is racist, because I try not to be racist. And it's not very hard to try not to be racist, because if you're not a racist, you don't have to try at all. It takes zero energy to not be a horrible person. unless you've, I guess, have already been a horrible person for most of your life, then you have to unlearn what you've learned. Apparently, though, I've heard that, is it MDMA? Like there's a racist who took MDMA, and after taking it, it kind of snapped something in his brain, and he stopped being racist magically. I don't know. So does that mean we need to get more drugs into the systems of racists to try and, clear them of their hatred? I don't know if that'll work or not. So, Doug, how about refusing pedophiles too? Wait, refusing what? Protecting pedophiles? I mean, this administration is absolutely protecting pedophiles. Or are we talking about refusing pedophiles at a business? I don't know. Cinnabon will forever be Better Call Saul lore. Yes, I laughed when that happened in the part of. See, I've never actually watched Breaking Bad, but I did watch Better Call Saul. And then I had to go watch an episode of Breaking Bad just to catch some of the. I was like, this must be a callback to the show, to the other show. So let me go ahead and go find that episode, and then I found it, and so I could understand exactly what was being spoken about. So, Steve. Another non-crap idea from Steve, because
If it's no Scottish, it's crap.
Steve goes, help my wife get better so she can get home and get back in the kitchen. I'm hungry. See, that would just open the door for fat shaming in my side. That's why the fat shamers are why I had to create the whole Fat Man Rant video series to begin with, because people would come on my videos and be like, you're fat. And yeah, so, and so people wouldn't believe me. They're like, you don't look hungry. Of course, obviously, I've actually hit, as a side note, I had thought I was at a plateau, and I was complaining for weeks that I was at a plateau, and I didn't weigh myself for weeks because I thought I was at a plateau. The other day, I decided to go stand on the scale again. I'm now down 140 pounds, so I still got a good bunch to go. I still have a good bunch of weight to go. If I could get down maybe another 70 or 80, I'd probably be happy. We'll see. So, hey, Teresa, good to see you. Thank you for joining as well. I don't know if I said hello to Tim. Hey, Mad Mac, good to see you. Susie, good to see you as well. From the land of the potato. So you notice Dan is hardly on the screen anymore. He used to take up 25% of it. Now it's about 3% well done. I mean, I could do this. I could be like, whoa, now I'm like all over the screen. Look, I'm huge. But, but yeah, at least this is slimmer. The only thing that's bothering me now, just to get personal, is sometimes I look in the mirror and see this little thing dangling right here. I have like a little bit of a turkey neck or whatever. It's not as bad as Trump's mangina in his neck or whatever, but you know. Let's see, Jeff. Steve, I know a joke, but if you ever had my wife's cooking, you'd have second thoughts. That's a good thing. My wife and I both know how to cook well enough. I'm not going to say that we're expert chefs, although there are some times where I will cook something, and despite the fact that my wife sometimes can be very, very, not giving with her praise, I would say. Like, for example, like I'll make something I thought I really did a good job with, and she'll be like, that's all right. That's good. But but I guess that makes it better. Whenever I make something and she's like, this is fucking delicious, I'll be like, yeah, I nailed it with that one. Awesome. I have nailed it with that one. Let me move myself over a little bit more because I feel like I'm missing my hand. My hand's getting chopped off, and I'm not a Star Wars character, whatever. MJ Daniel, Olympia, Washington, a bit breezy, but it could be worse. I mean, we were like 40s this morning. We got to 70 today. That's one of my like earliest stories from New Orleans. When I moved down here freshman year, we had a day like that. I woke up to go take a final exam, I guess right around this time, and I had to wear a winter jacket for my final exam because it was that damn cold, and the building the exam was being given in did not have any sort of heat. So I had to wear a jacket for my winter exam. At night, I had family come visiting me that day. We went out to dinner. At night, I was in shorts, because it went from like 40s, 30s, 40s to 70s, like over the course of a day. So, but yeah. Let's see. Mad Mac, I'm great at cooking grilled cheese or rice-a-roni. Best I can do is Pop-Tarts. Nice. All right. You on Pawn Stars now? Best I can do is a Pop-Tart. I do make great grilled cheeses, and you don't need anything really special to make a great grilled cheese. Sometimes the grilled cheese with tomatoes is even better if you have a nice fresh tomato, put one in there. But you could I just make it with Kraft singles sometimes. Kraft singles, white bread, some real butter, that's the key. Real butter, not margarine, not mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is weird. All y'all mayonnaise weirdos, I've tried it. It's not as good. I actually saw a video the other day where somebody, his wife had made him 2 sandwiches, one with mayonnaise, one with butter, and he was like, this one's the mayonnaise one. She's like, nope, that one's the butter one. And he's like, well, my life has completely got turned around. His life got turned upside down. I don't even remember what Trish said was a whole sordid story on that one. So, fried green tomatoes popular in Louisiana? Absolutely. I mean, it's a southern thing, but yes, there are definitely places down here that will serve fried green tomatoes, probably with a nice remoulade sauce. Sometimes they'll put like a shrimp remoulade over it. Delicious. The last grilled cheese sandwiches that I did make, I had 2 slices of American peach cheese, and I put a slice of Havarti in the middle, and that was also really good. I've also made like fancy grilled cheeses too, like we had like this kind of a rustic sourdough type of bread, and I used a garlicky type of butter for the toasting side, and then I put like brie and I think one other cheese in there as well, or something else to go along with the brie, and that was really good too. I mean, you can get real nice and fancy with grilled cheeses, but if you have one of my plain old basic 3 slices of cheese on white bread grilled up, you'll be like, this is an orgasmic grilled cheese sandwich, literally. So bet Dan has a tasty liver. I don't know. My liver might be a little tough, according to one of my most recent scans, though. So there's that. So maybe my buy me a cider needs to be something like buy me something else. So, Christine, I like Swiss on my grilled cheese. See, I used to not like Swiss, but I do like the fancier Swisses, like the Gruyères or whatever. Jolie, occasional mayo weirdo. I mean, look, I tried it. I'm more than willing to try it. It's just I like butter better. I mean, if I didn't have any other butter and I wanted a grilled cheese sandwich, I could use it. But I just, you're basically throwing oil and eggs on your bread. So, Chad, my grilled cheese hack: instead of spreading butter on the bread, melt enough in the pan just a bit. I do that as well. Look at that. We have more in common, Chad. That's what I put the butter on the thing, and then I put down the 4 slices of, if I'm going to make 2 sandwiches, I put down 4 slices of bread to make sure that the bread is over there. Melt the cheese individually, and then once they're done enough, flip them over so the cheese melts more quickly. So this is a Liberal Dan Radio food show apparently today, and not anything else, because we talked about racist at Cinnabon. We talked about having to go without food or health insurance with Donald Trump's affordability thing. We've talked about grilled cheese. We talked about all sorts of other different foods. Yeah. So I like Velveeta grilled cheese in the broiler with tomatoes. Interesting. Hey, Atrocious at Every Game. Good to see you. I'm not going to play the whole song yet, but
Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would flip. Had Biden done it, that screen fell play. But Trump did it, so it must be okay.
I'm going to put a poll up there in a second. Here's the poll. Is it still grilled cheese if you add bacon to it? Yes or no? That is a big argument that happens online. Is it a grilled cheese? And I would argue for like tuna, if you make like a tuna or any other sort of like meat, like ham, turkey, or whatever, no. Burger, clearly that's a patty melt. Ham, turkey, those are turkey melts, ham melts, or whatever. But bacon to me is a topping, and adding a topping to a sandwich to me doesn't change the type of sandwich that it is. So bacon doesn't make it not a grilled cheese. Tomato doesn't make it not a grilled cheese. Now, of course, you could argue what's a BLT then? if it's just a sandwich with toppings, we could have that debate. But I'm going to die on the hill that a grilled cheese with bacon on it is still a grilled cheese, but a grilled cheese with ham on it is not. So, but the cheese isn't on top, Michael. The cheese is around the bacon, but still, it's still a topping. A Church Certificate Game likes BLTs though, but hold the mayo. See, I actually like the mayo on the BLT. I want, before I stopped before I stopped going to this particular restaurant down here called Walk-Ons, they had a BLT, and it was like a crap ton of bacon. It was one of the best BLTs I've ever had, but I do like mayo on the sandwich. Then they got rid of it, and then they became terrible and or racist. And that's the story of Walk-Ons. Went to Walk-Ons one day. It was right before Bayou Classic, Essence Fest. So the middle of the year, right around July 4th-ish, Essence Magazine puts on a big festival down here in New Orleans. And there's a hashtag that will be trending. That's hashtag close for Essence, where a lot of businesses will close during Essence Festival instead of later on during the summer when the business wanes, and be like, look, we have repairs to do, we have maintenance to do, so we're going to choose to do it when all the black people come to town. You can't tell me that those people who are doing it are not racist. So what happened was, when it came to this particular thing, we're at the restaurant, I eat lunch, I then go back to work. I see an article afterwards saying that they are going to close because they are having a plumbing problem, that sewage is backing up from the bathrooms into the dining room, and that's why they have to close the restaurant for Essence Fest weekend. And I'm like, but the article was written, or the announcement was made earlier that day. So they basically allowed us to sit there in a dining room where sewage was backing up into the dining room with no problem. That's sick and gross and nasty and disgusting. Why would I ever want to eat there again if they knew that there was a problem of sewage going into the dining room, and yet they said they'd have to close all weekend? They had not yet picked up the floors, supposedly, and they claimed we didn't know how bad it would be, but you knew it would be bad enough to close for the weekend. And then when I was Uber driving, I happened to have somebody in my vehicle who worked for one of the local newspapers as a food person, and basically confirmed to me that not only did they know about it that day, they knew about it for like a week or two prior. And so again, another decision where they just waited and waited to get as much money as they could before Essence, and then said, we're going to close for Essence. So their story didn't go as they wanted it to be. Nobody fell for their bullshit who cared about the bullshit. And, so either they let people eat in a restaurant where sewage is backing up to it, so they're gross, or they made a decision to close for Essence Festival, a big black convention, which is gross, or both, which means they're doubly gross. So, where's the health inspector? Probably bribed. Yeah. So far the poll is 74% yes, 26% no. Is it still grilled cheese if you add bacon to it? 74% says yes. Team yes. Good job, guys. Again, but if we welcome all people who disagree with us as well. So if you are valid too if you believe that it becomes something else, if it becomes a bacon melt. Don't know what a bacon melt is or whatever. Now, sometimes, talking food again, this is apparently not going to be a very political show today. I don't know. There are people who like their tomato soup or whatever with their grilled cheese. So I went someplace that was serving like a grilled cheese and tomato soup combo, and I am not a big fan of anise. I'm not a big fan of that. So let me move this back over a little bit more. I'm not a big fan of that seasoning or whatever. And a lot of times people will use anise to make their tomato soup, especially when it's going along with a grilled cheese sandwich. And this thing, I took a spoon, I dipped it into the soup, I took a big spoonful, and it basically felt like I swallowed a black licorice spoonful, like liquid black licorice that was red. That's what I was eating. I was like, this is gross. No, I put it aside. I'm like, I'm not eating this. I'll just have the sandwich or whatever. Mad Max, sorry if this is torture. I mean, I could still eat. It's just I eat less. And if I eat too much, my body punishes me. So, I do like a good tomato basil soup, but it's got to be limited, if any, anise. Like my wife will make like these anise cookies, and she makes them gluten-free, obviously, because she has to. But even before she was gluten-free, she would still make these Christmas-time cookies with anise in it. And I was just like, ugh, no, you can have those all to yourself. It's Chucker John. Chucker John is in the house, and Chucker John is team no. Oh my goodness. You ever have bread cheese or grilling cheese when you just toss the block of cheese? Oh, when we go to Fogo, look, here's my thing about other food thing. Like, you know, there are a lot of times where I've talked about, like, for a while I was like, I was very mad at Fogo simply because of the fact that they took all that PPP money and they didn't need to take the PPP money. It wasn't for them. That being said, my wife has certain, you know, medical issues that say if we want to go out to eat, our choices are very limited. They're less limited than it was, you know, 5 years ago. Even much less limited for people who had to deal with celiac from like 80s and 90s and stuff like that. But if she wants to go to Fogo and enjoy herself, I'm not going to stop her from having something that she enjoys. Even though it is now no longer worth it for me to go to Fogo if I don't have a coupon, and they do have coupons. But if I don't have a coupon to go to Fogo, I do not get my money's worth at all. I get full, and I just have to stop eating. And I basically have to make sure that I don't eat, like, you know, the whole day before and maybe the half the day prior if I know I'm going. So, but yeah, speaking of Fogo will have this cheese that's like griddled cheese, and they cut it up, and they get it on the griddle, they cut it up, and they pour honey over it. Chef's kiss. So, 250 kilo. You can have all my black licorice. Welcome to all the black licorice. Daryl Lee, Australian, soft, delicious black licorice. It's from Down Under. Well, maybe that Down Under isn't Jolie, sorry, you're wrong, Chucker John. Haha. But Chucker John, Jolie hasn't seen Die Hard. So you can use that back against her. I'm going to pick on you till you watch that movie, Jolie. If you were here, we'd watch it together. We'd have a Die Hard watch party for Christmas or whatever. You're welcome, Roxanne. What else? It's a caper, Invasion of the Body Snatchers 70s version. Wait, what? Let's see. Real Bill P. Try pork rinds on a grilled cheese sandwich instead of bacon. It's an experience beyond explanation. Well, if I was going to do that, I wouldn't do pork rinds. I'd find some place where you can get cracklins, and I'd put cracklins on the grilled cheese and see how that went. That would probably be fucking amazing. But it's got to be like real cracklins, not pork rinds. That's a Big Hook. One concern, another. Oh, we're going to get to politics. Thank you, Big Hook, for putting us back on track. One concern another YouTuber brought up with the blue wave tsunami coming for the midterms is this makes the 2025 agenda on warp speed to institute before accountability comes a knocking. I mean, that is probably a side effect where they're going to panic and try and do as much as possible. It's a valid concern, but we should have been concerned about everything that Trump has been doing, and we shouldn't have elected Trump in the first place. That's the problem.
This just in. A sudden spike in...
Why is this playing again? Because I hit my ear or whatever. Yes? Do you have...
She doesn't want these. Do you want them? She said that they're spicy.
Are you going to want them?
No.
I guess put them in a bag and put them in the fridge and I'll warm them later, I guess.
Okay.
Anyway. It's alright. Kid out asked that. You didn't bring me my water, by the way. I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. So, see, pork rinds are alright. But cracklins versus pork rinds, two completely different ones. Jeff has never seen The Godfather. Oh my God. There are movies that I haven't seen all the way through that y'all would probably be like, what? Or movies I haven't seen, period, that y'all would be like, what? So yeah, there's always a movie that somebody talks about that, anyway, I lost my train of thought. I was reading the Donald Sutherland thing or whatever. But no. I used to not want to try cracklins either. To me, it also sounded terrible. Then I had a bite of cracklins and was like, this is the best thing ever. Chad, all Big Hook could have just enjoyed some regular people food talk for one night. Unplugging is not allowed, good sir. Mad Mac hasn't even seen that. See, I haven't seen all of the Godfather movies, but I did watch the first one. I had a friend of mine in college who basically sat us all down and made us all watch it like sophomore year, or freshman or sophomore year. I don't know which one it was, but he definitely wanted to make sure that everybody could watch it. So, yeah. Let's see. Atrocious at every game. My concern, which is being more of a Debbie Downer, is that Dems win some seats in 2026, but aren't enough to reverse Trump's garbage, if any, because SCOTUS gave him dictator-like powers, and we don't have a veto-proof majority, and the median voter is uninformed, unimpressionable, and has a goldfish memory. I would love if someone could refute this above post to assuage my worries. I would love to be able to assuage your worries too. Unfortunately, I can't. Atrocious at every game, because that we voted in Donald Trump twice makes me incapable of dissuading your opinions on that particular issue. Big Hook, did you see that Trump is asking DOJ to investigate people's social media posts from as far as back as 5 years to be investigated as Antifa, another related speech to be investigated by the FBI? I did see that they want people they want their social media opened if they want to come here. I did see that part. Is it that you're talking about with the people who are wanting to come here, that you have to have your social media scrutinized in order to be able to come to the United States, or is he talking about people in general now? Of course, what's the difference? I guess if you appear to be Hispanic, they're going to do this. They're going to do that to you regardless. Doesn't matter. They're going to do it to you absolutely regardless. So, because they treat everybody who looks Hispanic as if they're illegal until they prove otherwise, which is completely backwards. They should absolutely be making sure that the people that they're stopping are people who they've confirmed are, at least there's reasonable suspicion that they should be detained before detaining them. And the people they should be detaining are the people who are the worst, the bad hombres, the people who are committing violent crimes, etc., and not the people who are just, working on roofs, etc. Let me go ahead and turn off my camera a smidge so you don't see Thomas, because he's in his underwear and you don't want to see my child in his underwear. And we'll put this back on now that I have ice water, because I'm starting to get a little warm in this room. This is the hottest room in the entire house. About a third of that cup already because I'm thirsty. I saw The Gods Must Be Crazy, so I'm okay. I have seen The Gods Must Be Crazy as well. Have you seen Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo, though? Trisha, something on my mind. What's going on with the tanker at the coast of Venezuela? Is that an act of war? Which way do you think that'll go? See, the Trump administration is claiming that the tanker in question was transporting, oil that wasn't supposed to be transported. It was illegally transported oil based on some bans or whatever. So that's why they're claiming the authority to seize the tanker. Now, is that true or not? Can we believe anything that comes from the Trump administration? No. This is the problem, again, with the boy who cried wolf issue. The MAGA folks, even if you catch Trump in a lie, and even if you say, okay, well, he was lying, they'll be like, oh, well, we still need to believe him, because what if he's telling the truth the next time? When, in the boy who cried wolf, you don't believe people once they tell enough lies. So I have no reason to believe this administration, when this administration says that this tanker was carrying oil that they shouldn't have been. And then, of course, Trump's like, oh, well, we're just going to keep it. So, but he loves him some oil, right? I mean, he wants to be able to, and apparently by seizing the oil, it caused oil futures to go up. I guess because you're seizing oil, you're taking less oil out of the supply, or, regardless of whether or not it's illegally being transported or not, which makes it so that other prices will go. I don't know why one tanker would make oil prices go up any significant amount, but I mean, I'm not an economist, so there you go. Again, thirsty AF. FBI, DOJ already have my fingerprint, so why is that? Christine, weren't you supposed to email me about something the other day? I didn't see it yet. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I didn't see it, but I thought you were supposed to email me about something the other day. But I've not got an email from you. liberaldanradio@gmail.com if you do want to email me anything. Also, just another point to bring up. We do have the whatchamacallit, the Liberal Dan server, the Discord server is opened back up, is opened up. I've created some rooms for people who are paid subscribers, members, patrons, etc. So you can go in there. I have created a channel in there that everybody can use. And it's basically one where if you see something that you think I should look into, you want me to investigate more, I'd be more than happy to, consider it and take a look. You could just go ahead and put it in there. It's a very easy way to be like, hey, we want to see you talk about this in an upcoming show. But there's other rooms as well where you could see a whole bunch of different options, and there is a members only room that's going to be there for when we do decide to start and pull that trigger on Liberal Dan Radio After Dark. So. Christine, I forgot your email. The answer was that back before I was married. It's just liberaldanradio@gmail. That's my email. So very, very easy to remember. Just my name, where I am everywhere. I'm Liberal Dan Radio on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, and Gmail. So there you go. It's always Liberal Dan. Liberal Dan Radio, I mean. So... Jolie, I have to get fingerprinted tomorrow for a job. Did you get a new job, or is it just for the job that you have, or are you just getting better benefits or whatever? If your smartphone has biometrics, the FBI already has your ginger prints. I guess you meant fingerprints, but I guess it's a ginger print if you happen to be a ginger, right? Ginger print has freckles on it. But yeah, I mean, at least they have your thumb if that's what you use, right? Susie, did you give a voice option on Discord so we can talk behind your back? There is a voice channel for regular people, and then the voice channel will also be there, but it's only for members only for the Liberal Dan Radio After Dark. So, let's see. Jolie, now Jolie has to behave herself. She can't go sneaking around and having black market turtle sales.
I like turtles.
So. There is an ever-increasing oil glut, which is strange because it's fine and on its way out, or it's finite and on its way out. Yeah, I mean, there's that too. There is conservatives. I remember when conservatives used to tout this theory that they believe that underneath where the oil is currently sitting, that there's a whole bunch more oil underneath and just kind of filling up the wells as it goes. And I'm like, that's kind of silly. It doesn't seem very intuitive at all. So... Jolie, new job. My old job shut down twice. This time it's been closed too long, so getting a new one. Fair enough. I mean, now's the time to, if you wanted shift work, you could always do Christmas stuff or whatever, but I hope you do well on your background check or whatever. Jolie, they never found the bodies in the basement. Nice. Bald Thanos, at least it's Liberal Dan and not MAGA Dan. And in reality, I'm more like progressive leftist Dan, but I don't think that flows as well. And enough people around here, at least in this area, knew me as Liberal Dan since well before 2012, well before I started the podcast over on Blog Talk Radio. And I'm not going to rebrand. And I'm not that nitpicky about, like, if I actually decided to say, be like, I'm a leftist, leftist Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. Again, it doesn't go well. But if I were to do that, I still wouldn't complain if people are like, you're a liberal. I'm like, oh, I'm a leftist progressive, but I'm more pragmatic about things than maybe some other leftist folks. So, let's see. Aquatic, I believe all these DNA test companies and 23andMe sell the people's DNA to the government. For some reason, when you say the people's DNA, it makes me think of The Rock. Like, they're selling The Rock's DNA. If you smell what he's cooking, speaking of cooking shows, right? Democracy, Dan. Then about, we're not a democracy, we're a republic. Which, John was talking about that last time. And yeah, it's very convenient for the conservatives are like, we're not a democracy, we're a republic. And then Donald Trump says we're a democracy and they don't bat an eyelash at it. So, anyway, let us go ahead and we'll keep perusing the news or whatever and see what is going on. And that's weird. And blah, 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 blah. What we're going to do? Oh, we're going to turn on the phone lines, right? and we will turn on the call in. And if you want to call into the show, 562-LIBDAN1, 562-LIBDAN1, 562-542-3261. Feel free, conservative, liberal, progressive, leftist, moderates, whatever you are, just call into the show. You want to ask me a question, you want to debate me on a topic, you want to tell me how great I am and how you're about to send me a whole big check for $1 billion, and go right ahead, do that. But if you want to tell me how much you can get the best viewers on Twitch, we are going to block you and ban you and delete your stuff. So there you go. Trust at every game. We're pretty much a freaking monarchy at this point. That's what the unitary executive theory, Q bars spooky gesture would entail. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's what they want. Hell to the king. He ran on being dictator on day one, and everyone was like, well, he was just joking. But now they're like, okay, all hail the King Trump. Christine, P.S. for the overlords, I've never lived in a house with a basement. So you lived at the Alamo? What joke's that from? Bald Thanos, I'll send Jolie some cookies. Cookies to watch Die Hard with, right? Anyway. I have lived in a house with a bed. I used to live, for some reason, I forget what the reason was. Maybe it was because I want to say that there was a fire at my house when I was a kid, and they called the fire department, and because I think their electric heating blanket set the bed on fire or something, and so they came, they put out the fire, and then for a little bit I had to sleep on the couch, I want to say, when my parents slept in my room, and it always sounded like something was coming upstairs from the basement. It was always freaked me out. It's one of very few memories that I have of that house, because we moved out when I was like maybe 6 or 7 or so, but very few memories of the house. But as one of the memories that I have is just hearing this sounded like that somebody was coming up the stairs, even though nobody ever actually came up the stairs. So, but we did have a basement at that house. Not many houses have basements in New Orleans, but when I was living in my fraternity house, our deep freezer or extra fridge and our washer dryer were both in the basement type area. It wasn't a very secure area, but it was a basement. But again, we live under sea level. Having a basement is not the best thing to have. So let's see. What do you think about the Milo character accusing Republicans of being gay? I haven't really followed much of Milo's reappearance on social media after whatever. Now, is Milo outing people for, who are gay, who, maybe are in the closet, or he's just using gay as a slur, despite the fact that, he was a very out Republican for a very long time, right? How about Zeitgeist Zimmerman? I don't know, is it double Z? The double Z. Milo outing Benny Johnson. Oh, okay, interesting. I mean, look, I don't believe that anybody should be outed in and of themselves because of the fact that, there's so much harm that can be done to somebody who is gay. I don't care if, if you're a deplorable person or not. I'm not necessarily going to out you. If I knew somebody who was conservative and trans and I knew their dead name, I wouldn't use their dead name. And it's not because I have any respect for the person who's conservative, who's an awful person who happens to be trans. It's because if I use the dead name of somebody who is somebody I don't like, you would then, people who were trans might think like, oh, well, if he knows my dead name, would he use my dead name otherwise? Or maybe there'll be a point where he would use my dead name too. It's the same thing with outing people. I might not want to, I might not like somebody who is a closeted, conservative, homosexual individual, but if I knew that they happened to be in the closet, I would not reveal them as being in the closet, because again, that would tell anybody else who is also in the closet that I'm not a safe person to come out to. Same thing with almost anything else. Fat shaming. I don't fat shame Donald Trump. I won't fat shame Donald Trump because I don't want other people, even though I am fat myself, and I live in the glass house, so I could throw the stones, I suppose, or I have walked a mile in his shoes. Maybe I've walked longer because I don't have bone spurs, but I'm not going to sit here and fat shame somebody who, I'll call out their hypocrisy. If they are hypocritically calling other people fat and they are not in good shape, I will be like, well, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? But I will not do that to people, just not because I care about them, but because I care about the other people. We have Big Hook on the line. How are you going? What's going on, Big Hook? What's up?
Oh, I'm just, trying to follow along just like everybody else. Just curious, did you happen to see the Politics Girl piece based on Amnesty International declaring the ICE detention centers in Florida as torture facilities?
I have heard about it. I didn't get the chance to watch it yet.
Yeah, I mean, they apparently have toilets that are overflowing, as well as, so people are actually ending up sleeping in their feces, as well as apparently they have a 2 foot by 2 foot by whatever height cage that they put prisoners in, and they put it outside with no water, and they're shackled basically by their feet inside the cage and left for hours.
Sounds about white. I mean, that's what these assholes do. I mean, again, these camps were going to start as just, they're just to detain these certain people, and then it became more, and it's going to become more. We always knew that it was going to become more because they're following the Nazi playbook. One of the things I was thinking about the other day, though, was maybe we would have done better if we, instead of calling them Nazis, we just called them Hydra. Because even though Hydra are comic book Nazis, who basically were just super-powered Nazis in the Marvel Universe, maybe they would have had less complaints if we called them Hydra. Maybe they would have thought we were calling them Hydra, and that they would have thought it was cool at that point. So who knows? But I mean, they were always going to go that. These camps are always going to get worse unless we stop them. So they're going to be death camps soon enough.
Well, that's my concern right now is that so much of this stuff is happening behind closed doors with no oversight available. And I mean, that's going to be like the first thing that's going to have to happen when, we regain some semblance of power to make accountability, is to make it so that way they cannot hide or cover up this stuff anymore. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, basically it's DeSantis having been one of the, the guards in Guantanamo and thought, you know what, this is too civilized. Let's make it even worse. I mean, so like, you're in a cell that's overcrowded with a toilet that's overflowing with absolutely zero privacy. And then on top of that, you have mosquitoes that are constantly getting in and making you sick, as well as, air conditioning turned up to the point where you have no way to self-regulate. And then on top of that, they're denying your life-saving medications to boot because, this is the way, these authoritarian fascist thugs operate,
Yep.
And let me say this, Chad, I'm sorry, you can't defend this shit anymore. That bullshit thing that you said, I wouldn't have let my child sign a permission slip to allow Trump to walk into the dressing room. Yeah, right. What a pile of BS. Let's face it, these girls know that this is their stepping stone to fame. You think that they won't compromise that, or they won't fake your signature or whatever? Because now what you're basically doing is laying the blame on the parents, and that's disgusting, Jeff, or Chad. Sorry, my mistake. Sorry, Jeff. I did not mean to say that. That was bad.
I mean, all us Americans look alike, right? Sorry. I mean, I know you're.
Well, yeah, me as well. I know.
I know.
But like
Chad does say it is the parents. Chad says it is the parents' fault. I mean, I could say there are probably circumstances where I could put blame at the parents, like all the parents that brought their kids to go to sleepovers at like Michael Jackson's house or whatever. After it was pretty much well known that he was a creepy, gross MFer. Like at that point, there was some point where I was like, you know what, you parents are sick. You should not be putting your kids anywhere close to Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch or whatever, because of even if there's the thought of that. But yeah, there's some point where the parents aren't to blame, and then there's some point where it becomes obvious and the parents are to blame. Just really matters of how well known the fuckery is and how they're willing to accept how much they're willing to accept that fuckery. I mean, that's what I would say.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and this is my concern, is that there is going to be a big rush to deport all these people, because the quickest way to make sure that you never get charged with all this crap is if there are no witnesses left.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard apparently he's going to try and buy planes from Boeing or wherever it is, and then use them as exclusively deportation planes. Mm-hmm. Because the military, it doesn't really technically fall under the jurisdiction of the military to do this thing, to transport prisoners or deportations.
Right.
And I'm guessing Avelo Airlines has figured out that they are losing all of their other customer base. So as a result, it's not profitable unless they're being paid overage sums for deporting people to these other countries. And then on top of that, you got the billionaire class who are going out and saying, "Oh yeah, we'll lend you our private planes to deport these people to other countries." I mean, this is just sick on every level imaginable. Like, you think it can't get worse, and as the old saying goes, it's a failure of imagination, as what's her name said about 9/11. It's like, no, it wasn't a failure of imagination. We've seen this happen before.
Mm-hmm.
It's a question of, does word get out? And I mean, it's like that old sick joke that goes, how do you keep a secret? Make sure that there's only one person to keep the secret.
Right.
Because there's nobody else left. And that's the way these guys are operating right now. I mean, they're already threatening people, saying, "Oh, I can arrest you and I can whatever." And it's like, for what? For being a U.S. citizen? For watching you perform illegal actions against people who've done nothing wrong? Who don't even have a criminal record or charges against them? Who are tax-paying citizens? Or in this case, undocumented tax-paying citizens, who support the, Social Security as well as all the other programs that the government utilizes in service of the people. But all those services are going to disappear now, because under Trump, he's going to, that's the whole thing that gets me right now, is that he's destroying the government. Department by department by department, and then everything will be under his thumb, and he'll be the king, and it'll be basically a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and then a neck cutting symbol by him as to whether or not you live or die. I mean, that's where it's getting to. And like, that's my fear is that the accountability has to happen much sooner than later. And then when we do get the ability, we have to legislate everything to the point where there are no cutouts where Trump can basically hide and say, "Oh, well, I didn't know," because and oversight, that's the other thing. Oversight has to be mandatory. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have
well,
to
we're
be able
supposed
to
to
see
have
what's
oversight
going on.
with three co-equal branches of government, but the conservatives have usurped, or not usurped, have basically eliminated their responsibility, or have basically, there's a word I'm looking for, and I'm not remembering the word because it's a long day. But they basically,
well, I know.
But and the Supreme Court is like, all right, here's a pass, and then the Supreme Court probably also knows that it doesn't matter how they rule, because if they rule no, Trump's going to be like, okay, we're going to do it anyway. Before I forget, I do want to thank Bill.
Thing,
before I
the
forget,
Supreme Court.
wait. Before I forget, I forgot to say thank you for this earlier. Bill had gifted 5 Liberal Dan memberships, so I did want to make sure to thank Bill for that as well. Okay, go back.
Yeah. But that's just it. You know, like, these people aren't held accountable. They're basically, you know, I mean, they're criminals with a get out of jail free card because they say, oh, well, it's political, it's not criminal. And it's like, yes, it is. It is criminal. It's basically using your position to your advantage, and you know, using money to basically commit crimes because you know that the other person doesn't have money to be able to defend themselves. And when left at the desperation of you know, a public defender, they're going to go with a plea deal because they are left with the only option, which is that either I can lose absolutely everything that I have, as well as you know, my family being on the hook for anything and everything as well, or I exit society and spend a couple of years in jail and then hope that there's something left for me when I get out, you know.
Right.
And you know, I don't know, but that's a pretty fucked up existence. And I don't know how on earth you guys have tolerated it for as long as you have. You know, like,
bread and circuses. But now,
well, I mean,
the bread's getting more expensive. The bread's getting more expensive, and the circuses are becoming limited because Trump's going to allow super monopolistic mergers of media companies, and probably make sure to work in, you know, oh, this is, you know, we're going to now talk about how great I am. Like, why, for example, why is on earth is CBS airing an interview with Erica Kirk? Like, you know, they're basically giving Talking Points USA an own little platform to go, you know, spread their falsehoods all over their network. I guess probably because they just want to kiss the conservatives and Donald Trump's ass because they've basically caved into the fear that they were going to lose their ability to make money as long as if they didn't, you know, do shit like that, like fire Colbert and put Erica Trump up, Erica Trump. Freudian slip. I shouldn't be Erica Vance, but Erica Kirk up there, and you know, it's gross. It's their lack of spine.
She's a hypocrite of the highest sort, anyway. I mean, apparently, what is she? She's like 35, and apparently, she had all of her kids way beyond that, and then she's going, oh, you should be having kids when you're 20. When you don't know any better and you have no established education or career, you know, groundwork put in place where you have, you know, a sustainable future, you should be a broodmare and have kids. And it's like, she fucking walked away with what, 15 million is the accumulated wealth of Charlie Kirk, and she's got the gall to stand there and say this shit.
And she had plenty of money beforehand too. So,
well, you know, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad that people like John Fugelsang are out there and calling these people out, you know, and saying, you know, you guys don't even read the fucking Bible, and you don't know the verses, and you don't know the origins of where the things came from and all the rest of it. I mean, that's part and parcel why I don't believe in religion, because if anything, it's just basically teaching ethics, which are basically incorporated inside the law itself already, which is unnecessary, and, right, you know, and should be part and parcel of parenting a child, as well as within the school system, which should be public and available to absolutely everyone. And I mean, if you want to go and you want to pursue your religious studies further, you know, you can do it within the church, or you can do it within a Catholic school or whatever, you know, that sort of thing. But unless all public facilities, as well as all Catholic or religious facilities, receive the same amount of funding as well as the same amount of tools, you know, it's all bullshit. And I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, you guys base your contributions to your funding for schools based upon what neighborhood you happen to live in. And I mean, like, that's fucking bullshit. Because not everybody lives in a rich neighborhood where the tax base is going to be able to supply everything that the kids need. I mean, that's where it should be national funding. And I mean, what was the first thing that Trump tried to do? Oh, let's eliminate the Department of Education that would facilitate funding for underprivileged schools and you know, funding for educational assistance for people who have disabilities and whatnot. I mean,
oh, who wants that, right? Who wants to help people with disabilities, right? Who's going to want to deal with that?
You know, like,
I mean, I have a kid with an IEP, so I understand, you know, the importance of having a federal government that's going to be willing to step in there and protect children when the school systems do not follow the IEP. So,
well, like I said, we shake our heads at you guys up here in Canada. I mean, we don't have the best, but we have better than what you guys have. And I mean, you know, like, I don't know. You guys go and do things to the extreme. I mean, up here, outside of police officers as well as members of the military, handguns here are largely banned unless you get a special permit, in which case you have to qualify for a mental health assessment every single year, and you're limited as to how much ammunition you're allowed. And the same thing, they have limits as to how many bullets a gun itself can carry. You know, now, that sort of thing.
If you're in Canada, here's a question I guess based on that. If you're in Canada and you have a limit on how many bullets you're allowed to have, does that count bullets that let's say you fire at a gun range? Like if you go to a gun range to practice, would bullets?
I have no idea. I haven't followed up on that. But we had the same problem here, where it was we had the conservatives crying about how the gun registry didn't work. But you know what? If you ask the people who have to enforce domestic violence calls through the police and whatnot, they love it. They love knowing that they're not going to walk into a firefight at the home, knowing that, you know, whether or not there's guns in the home, or better yet, you know, and that's the thing. It's not, you know, and I mean, you guys are still what? You still have like the gun show loopholes, and then on top of that, you got all the paperwork has to be in paper; it can't be digitalized. I mean, like, what horse crap that is. Oh, so somebody has to take 3 or 4 days to go through paperwork to establish that you are who you say you are and what gun you have and whatnot, and then to do a trace as to, so that way the FBI can go and start searching for people who have been shot by this, that, or the other, whatever, you know. And it's like, oh, dear Lord. Like, you guys managed to fuck things up that are, you know, should be under the KISS principle of keep it simple, stupid, you know, like, and it boggles the mind because, like, you know, you're a society that's literally on the edge of collapsing and, you know, becoming the Wild West again, where, you know, guns decided who lived and died, you know. as opposed to hard work and ethics and all the rest of it, and working together as a community, you know? And that's my concern. I can't look at the states anymore and not worry about people. And believe me, you have some of the best people in this chat that, you know.
We have the best people. Nobody has better people. Sorry.
Well, no, but I mean, that's just it. And, you know, like people who are, you know, who have good ethics and everything else, and they're not religiously overzealous or fundamentalist, and they don't do this stupid stuff, you know, and all they want is a good job, a roof over their head, and decent food to eat every single day. And it's not much to ask.
Right.
And the government is failing at just that, let alone your boondoggle on fucking health care. You know, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I've said it before. I'll say it again. But, like, you guys are literally driving a car with 1 million miles on it that's smoking and, you know, rattling, and the suspension is falling apart, and you literally have like less than 5% brakes left, and you're headed towards a cliff.
Yep.
I don't know how else to describe it, because I've never seen things get so bad or so badly managed. And I mean, you tell me, what have the Republicans done over this period? They've been out of session for so long, and outside of renaming some post offices, they haven't fucking done anything. So tell me how they justify the money that they have taken from their constituents.
Well, they probably say the constituents would be like, good job, you're doing exactly what we voted for, which is to be sycophants for Donald Trump, right? And hopefully enough people in those districts will be like, you know what, we didn't vote for this, you're going to get yeeted. So, who knows? I did want to look up something.
Yeah.
I did want to bring up, because, you know, with the alligator Alcatraz, and, you know, I was wondering how could one potentially, you know, check on these things and make sure. And I was like, well, could you fly a drone over alligator Alcatraz? But that's probably why they put alligator Alcatraz where it is, because it's apparently close to an airport, and it's apparently also because it's in the Everglades. There are other things that in Florida law and federal law that probably preclude you from flying a drone over the territory to try and, you know, take video footage of, or camera footage of what's going on.
That and they're owned by the government, by the state of Florida. They're actually private institutions. So as a result, DeSantis can hide everything that he wants.
Yep.
Because he's not accountable, and he's another Hitler wannabe.
Yep. Oh,
you know.
No, we called somebody else Hitler. What they going to do? They're going to get very angry over the fact that they voted, you know, we call him Hitler, and then they cry, and then they're like, but we voted for it. Well, exactly. They voted for it. And so stop crying that we're pointing out what you voted for. But yeah, it would be nice if somebody could figure out a way how to get some surveillance over the damn alligator Alcatraz to be able to show exactly what's going on. But until that happens, you know, we're going to, you know, but they're not going to let that happen. They're probably going to have plenty of people around who could spot a drone and or shoot down the drone to make sure that nobody gets the footage, because they don't want people getting the footage, because once people get the footage, that's how, you know, regimes get toppled.
The other problem I have is that every time we get a win legally, where a judge steps in and says this is against the law, then a right-wing judge will step in and say, oh, no, you know, we're just good old boys. We never do anything wrong. We're always up to this bullshit and shucking and jiving and whatnot. And, you know, I mean, this is the way life is. This is the way we were brought up. We were brought up as pieces of shit, so you shouldn't expect anything less than that from us. You know, the law is up for interpretation. What I interpret as the law is what I interpret the law is.
Right.
And, I mean, this is what I mean when I say you guys are that million-mile car that is, headed towards the cliff, because that's where it is. You've lost everything. You don't have a proper judicial system. And I mean, at the rate that Trump is going, the oversight that used to be within the domain of the federal government over the state governments in terms of certain things will be gone too.
Right.
At the rate that they're going. So there won't be any oversight from anything, and it'll just be, at the whims of the sycophants who have managed to claim the power and are in the pockets of the billionaires.
Yep. There is
At
one
least
thing I want to
that's what
do. There's if you follow me on, I want to say on Blue Sky and Facebook, you may have seen this. I don't know if I posted it to Twitter or not, but I'm going to switch over to the other screen for a second, which is this new White House page about media, whitehouse.gov/media bias, that, they're basically misleading, biased, exposed, and they have the media offender of the week. And apparently this week, the media offender of the week was the Washington Post. And on this page, you too can submit media organizations for their being misleading and I thought of two great things that people could do when it comes to this site. A, just swarm them with a whole bunch of bullshit. Make it so that they have to dig through so many articles that, they can't run an effective site. So swarming this website with a whole bunch of, I have an article written, it's like, is SpongeBob really living in a pineapple under the sea, or is this just another example of fake news or something like that? Or the other thing is take videos made by good old liberal Dan, me, submit those videos to them and hope that they choose me as the offender of the week so that I can get some more notoriety. Some people be like, oh, hey, let's go to these sites because these are the sites we want to go to because it's the sites that Donald Trump doesn't like. So one or two options that could be used. But one thing I would add is if you're going to do that, make a special different email address. Maybe use a VPN when using that email address to not tie back to anything of yours personally, just to make sure that they can't
that's
come
what
back
I was
to bite you
saying
on the
before.
ass.
That's where we're at right now. Like I said, I use Incogni and I use a VPN. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, that's the only way to protect yourself. I mean, and basically outside of you and a few other people, most people don't know who I am other than the moniker of Big Hook. I mean, right. And, I mean,
your name's Pete Smith,
right? I don't think I've said anything. I don't think I've said anything horrible or better yet in a terrorist light. I haven't threatened anybody's life, but the only thing I've ever really advocated for is accountability, and oversight, which are reasonable things to say. It's pretty much in the same line as what Mark Kelly said. You have the right to refuse an illegal order. You don't have to perform these things. You should not perform crimes for the government. You don't have the right to do that. The problem also though ends up being is, you've got so many of these other countries like Russia as well as China who are basically going out there and doing things where they disappear people, and then when the bodies are returned to their loved ones, they're missing organs and all this sort of stuff, and you think to yourself, what? And it's like, this is the new norm.
Right.
They are starving these people to death. They are removing organs from them. They are doing ungodly shit to these people, and like,
Now,
That's
Chad
what's
did
so
bring up,
worrying about this world.
Chad did bring up in chat, also read a story, not sure if it's true or not, about ICE offering $750 if you call in and somebody, if they're deportable. Not cool at all if true. It doesn't appear that it's true. A lot of the things have basically said there's no evidence of it. Of course, it's plausible. That's why people say it. But we all know that there are plenty of people who are MAGA folks who would gladly do it for free. So why would they pay $750 when they know that there are plenty of people who would submit tips for free, right?
Well, exactly. That's just it. You know, and the same thing when ICE agents walk into restaurants and then they get shouted down and they say, you are not allowed in here and we are not going to serve you because you scare away all my fucking customers.
There's a
there's
a chicken place. There's a chicken place like a Brothers gas station, which is one of the just called Brothers gas station, and they have fried chicken there, and they closed the door and prevented ICE, including the head guy down here in ICE, prevented them from coming into the restaurant. They're like, if you want to get chicken, you have to get it from somewhere else because you're not buying it here. He locked the door and said, nope, sorry, you can't come in. So,
well, that's what you got to do. You got to do this and say that there are consequences for this shit. And the same thing, like I said before, I mean, there are times when these guys are out there and they think that they're completely untouchable, and when they don't have their masks on, you know, and you got to take the pictures and you got to dox these fuckers, because that's the thing. Because the day is going to come when accountability has to happen. And this is the thing. They're all counting on the fact that they are not being held accountable. And they're threatening people who are photographing them and whatnot, and the same thing. Like I said before, tell hotel facilities, tell rental car companies, anybody that works alongside of ICE or works in conjunction with ICE, that you're not going to give them your business anymore, and that you will stand outside and protest them. I mean, it's worked effectively against the Velo Airlines. I mean, they've lost pretty much almost all of their regular customers now, I mean, that's just it, so that's why he's now put in a contract there for Boeing planes, so that way they'll be exclusively for deportation, because he wants a separate, facility as well as planes and whatnot. And I mean, on top of that, the other thing is they're breaking international law by deporting these people and then turning the transponders off, so that way you can't track where these planes go.
Yep.
I mean, this is, it's basically, and you can say, oh, well, we're just deporting them. And it's like, no, you're not. You're taking away everything that they've accumulated in life, and then put them on a plane and sent them to the middle of fucking nowhere, where they more than likely don't speak the language. And number two, have no resources, so that they'll be left to beg within whatever country it is that you just sent them to. You want to talk about an act of cruelty.
Well, look what they're doing. Look at what they're doing. What I basically saw in the article that came up when you were on the show, when you were calling in last time. The whole, just do things the right way. Nope, because people doing things the right way got yanked out of line and told that they could not become naturalized citizens, despite the fact that they did everything right and were waiting to say the final Pledge of Allegiance so that they could become U.S. citizens. And the Trump administration's like, nope. We don't care, because this is, again, it's not about law. It's not about legality. It's all about bigotry. That's all this is about. That's all it's been about from day one. And anybody who wants to say otherwise is full of shit, or doesn't know any better. So,
well, I mean, that's just it. Republicans are the great pretenders. They just basically pretend to be decent people and whatnot, and then they don't. They never follow through when it comes down to it, because they look at themselves and they go, oh, well, who else? Who does it hurt? Does it hurt me, or does it hurt them? And if it hurts them, then they're okay with it. And, they'll say something that sounds correct, but then when it comes to follow through, there is none.
Yep,
I mean, and let's face it, let's look at all the things that they've done, that they've gone and done things about, They said, oh, well, Benghazi. How many times did they go to that? And in the end, what did they get? Nothing. They spent what, over $300 million investigating Hillary Clinton, and they said, "Oh, and where's her emails?" And it's like, for what?
Right.
Oh, it's awful. She destroyed all of her devices. It's government policy.
Yep.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I'd like to complain about,
You're
you burned the
supposed to-
flag. How are you supposed to get rid of a flag? You burn it. So,
that's the thing, right? They are hypocrites of the ultimate degree, and it's like the rules apply to you, but they don't apply to me, and I decide what rules apply and when they apply, and then I treat them because I treat the rules like 2-ply toilet paper, and then I wipe my ass with them, and then I flush them down the toilet, and then I pretend that I did nothing.
Right.
And that's where we're at now.
I guess the one
anyway,
thing
I've said my.
We both about to end it anyway. I guess the one thing, did you see Weird Al with others covering Rage Against the Machine's "Killing in the Name of"?
No, can't say that I have.
I will have to share that video into the Discord because I'm not playing it here because I'm sure I'll get a copyright strike. But,
yeah, no worries.
When you get Weird Al pissed off enough that he's not doing a polka cover and instead he's actually singing the song where they say "fuck you, I won't do what you tell me," talking about police officers, being Klansmen in disguise or whatever. You've done messed up when you have basically turned Weird Al into someone singing rebellious punk music. So
yeah, well, Colbert had an artist who did his own personal song about ICE, and the same thing. It was like the artists with who are above the fray and not afraid to take the hit are speaking out, and that's
right.
just it,
And that's what they need to do, and we need more people doing it. Everybody everybody with the privilege to be able to speak out needs to go and speak out. And if
the one that I'm really shocked hasn't really done so much has been Taylor Swift. She said a little bit, but she hasn't completely done it because, unfortunately, she's like, "Oh well, what happens if I piss off the base?" Or better yet, my husband Kelsey is he might have problems with his other teammates who are what's his name, Mahone or whatever his name is, that supports Donald Trump. And it's like,
right.
And I'm like, what an idiot you got to be. What is he? I think he's like half black or something like that, and he's supporting Donald Trump. Like, what you tell me, how does that work?
I don't
that
understand. I don't understand Jews who support it. I don't understand Latinos who support him. I don't understand any minorities that support him. Only people who I could maybe understand supporting him are cis het white dudes, and even then, I don't understand supporting him. Supporting him doesn't make any sense, regardless. But especially doesn't make any sense if you are part of a oppressed and underprivileged minority group, even if you're wealthy. But I guess sometimes people's wealth can make them forget about, I guess, where they came from. I don't know. So
anyway, I like I said, every day I keep looking at this stuff, and as the world turns, it just seems to get shittier and shittier. And my worry, like I said earlier in the chat, is I think they're going to accelerate this because they realize that, people are catching on. People are seeing things for what they truly are. And that this was not, these crimes that Trump has put upon people do not exist. Whether it be blowing fishermen out of the sea, and I mean, that's porn for maggots. I'm sorry, that's all it is.
Well, as I said, I think that they all probably failed at Battleship, and as such, they want to be able to, get their revenge by, blowing up all the little itty bitty boats and I guess attacking one big one. So, It's only going to get worse before it gets better, and then it's gonna, again, I don't know. I don't know what benefits. I don't know if there's a benefit to. I mean, I don't want anybody harmed, but you know, perhaps in the panicked escalation, maybe that will make them to slip up more and lose more support. And we can only hope that they lose some more support over the next, you know, 10 months or so to make sure that we can take back the damn House and maybe even the Senate. Who knows? But not holding my breath on the Senate, but you never know. I mean, because you have the mayor of Miami. Miami hadn't been served. You know, hasn't had a Democrat. It was like, it was a 20-point swing. Let's look. Miami mayoral. I wanted to look this up before and I forgot.
There was a New Mexico one as well, I think.
Yeah, there was another like a local race or maybe like a state legislature that was a safe Trump district that shifted over 12 points and a Democrat won. But I would like to see if there's exit polling from that. I kind of looked up exit polling, but I didn't see anything. I might have to do that for tomorrow's show. I might have to look and see what the exit polling was for the Miami mayoral race, just to see what the issues were and what is causing people to, you know, turn these long-time Republican seats into Democrats. If it's something more than just Trump fatigue, or if it's literally, you know, just people just being sick and tired of Trump, and enough of them being sick and tired of Trump so that they're
that one that they almost won before. Apparently, someone said that there's like 30,000 ballots unaccounted for.
What, in Miami?
No, the Georgia one.
Oh.
So the fix might have been in already there, where they just, you know, just so that way this idiot could squeak by. Because what did he win by? Like less than 10,000 votes.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, oh gee, there's 30,000 votes unaccounted for. They can't figure out where they went.
Wonder how that happens. That's because every conservative accusation is a confession. So. Anyway, we're probably going to end soon, so I think Trucker John wants to go live in about 5 minutes too. So, final thoughts before you head off.
Wishing everybody the best. You're going to run over Christmas, right? You're not going to shut down or take a Christmas break, are you?
I mean, I'm not going out of town. I mean, usually what we do.
I think you usually do a Disney trip or something, right? You do a Disney road trip or something.
Not anytime in the near future. That's our money situation's so tight that's not. I mean, we may go on a cruise sometime next year once my tax return comes back, because I haven't quite figured out how to adjust my withholdings well enough to be able to, you know, get more money monthly. So we may get that little one chunk. And so we'll see. But other than that, there's no plans on Disney anytime in the near future, because they've just gotten far too expensive for us to be able to go, especially with all of our financial struggles that we've been dealing with. But no, I will be here. I don't have any plans of going out of town. Well, I may be going to Georgia, maybe next week. It may be possible that Thursday's show might be skipped. We'll see. We'll see what happens on Thursday.
Okay.
But if we do a show, I might just do a road show, like do it live from the phone or something. But otherwise, yeah, the only show that might get skipped is the 18th. But other than that, no, we're not going out of town for anything long term or whatever. We'll be here fighting the fight. So thank you very much, Big Hook, as always, and you have a good rest of your night.
Yes, and same to you. Appreciate the work that you're doing that others need to hear. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Everybody, that was Big Hook, everybody, and we are I have some other stuff I need to look up for tomorrow's show. We'll be looking into that, but Trucker John's going to be starting soon. We will play a couple of songs again, including the new one from Deminox first. So everybody, thank you all for watching, and tune back in tomorrow, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central, here at Liberal Dan Radio. Talk from the left. That's right.
This just in. A sudden spike in logic levels across the city. Citizens report seeing a man with glasses and a podcast mic. We go now live to Liberal Dan. Yo, who you gonna call when Nazi writings on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, cause you know we got a plan. The right wing talking shit, but he ain't about to quit. He'll take his proton pack and zap your logic cause it's whack. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall.
reported that Liberal Dan is setting up what appears to be some sort of straw man containment field.
He's calling out your lies with his Michael vaporize. Cross the streams in your dreams, bitch, you know that he's too wise. You're like Slimer talking crap, but you walked into his trap. Yo, it's more than entertainment, it's misinformation contained. So who you gonna call? When the writing's on the wall. Call your man Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall. The Statue Liberty, the writing you can't see. So bring the huddled masses, it's a war of the classes. While Trump may think he's Vigo, Dan can cut through that ego. He's got the facts to prove him wrong, got that logic like Egon. Your logic is a ghost, cause you know this chick is toast. When you follow MTG, it's conspiracy, you'll see. There's no need to taser, he's got wit like Occam's razor. Liberal Dan cuts those lies with his Jewish-based laser.
It's unbelievable. Liberal Dan just used the literal dog whistle to lure a large group of internet trolls into what is being called a self-collapsing rhetoric singularity. In all my years of reporting, I've never seen anything like this.
So don't call to be a heckler, you ain't no Judge Rexler. He'll bust you like Scolary, cause your logic's looking hairy. Right-wing callers think they're cool, but they sounding just like Zool. You the dog, he the man, and yo, his name is Liberal Dan. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall. Liberal Dan, Liberal Dan, Liberal Dan.
They wrote it in the laws, ink still bleeds. Treating women like soil, just planting seeds. She's gone, brain dead, not even awake. But the state's got a claim, gonna plant its stake. Say it's God's will, say it's life they protect. But they ain't the ones feeling pain or neglect. From Texas to Georgia, they set the trap. Rights roll back while they smile and clap. Gilead's here, this is true. Hey MAGA fools, they'll come for you too. So I'm gonna jet, see you later. I'm not gonna be a baby incubator. This ain't pro-life, it's control and shame. They don't care if she's gone, just playing a game. Keep her hooked to machines, cold and still. Just a vessel to them, not a human with will. No consent, no voice, no chance to resist. Just laws in place, written with a clenched fist. Hospitals scared, judges playing God. Bodies ain't temples, just state-owned pods. Gilead's here, this is true. Hey MAGA fools, they'll come for you too. So I'm gonna jet, see you later. I'm not gonna be a baby incubator. Bands in the dark, they don't care who it kills. Sacking courts while they strip out all of your wills. But we'll fight back, march loud, burn bright. Cause this ain't the end, it's the start of the fight. Gilead's here, ain't no grace. And those leopards are coming to eat your face. So I'm gonna jet, see you later. I'm not gonna be a baby incubator. Not gonna be a baby incubator. Not gonna be a baby incubator. Trump piled debt, trillions tall. Promised Mexico would fund that wall. Praised dictators, said they're strong. Had Joe done it, they'd say he's wrong. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would flip. Had Biden done it, patriotism when Donald's to blame. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, full numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they'd shout no way. But Trump did it, so it must be okay.
The creative director at WGSO had a little something he thought you should know. When Dan picked on his bits, Steve got real gruff. So Steve called Dan a flake, called him liberal dandruff. Steve thinks that his lines are really clever, but when do people ever like him? Never. Liberal Dan's got better lyrics, this is true. Listen and you'll feel like I do. Liberal Dan, his show is great. Liberal Dan, he goes live at 8. Liberal Dan radio, it's the best, cause Liberal Dan's head and shoulders above the rest. Steve's about to find out his mistake. In this feud, Dan's Kendrick, Steve is Drake. Dan might not be the world's best singer, but he's got more talent in his little finger. Steve thinks that his lines are really clever, but when do people ever like him? Never. Liberal Dan's got better lyrics, this is true. Listen and you'll feel like I do. Liberal Dan, his show is great. Liberal Dan, he goes live at 8. Liberal Dan radio, it's the best, cause Liberal Dan's head and shoulders above the rest.